Hi everybody, I am throwing it back again to another camp meeting video. This one is from 2010. I did have a hard time finding camp meeting videos on YouTube that were 10 years or even older. They're just not available. If you have access to those and you could upload them, I'm sure a lot of people would love to see them. But today's is from Florida. I'm not sure if I said that or not. So let's go ahead and take a listen. I'm going to make this full screen too, so you guys don't have to see all the other stuff.
He's a mighty God. He's an awesome God. He's worthy of glory. He's worthy of honor. He's worthy to be lifted up, to be magnified and praised. Lord, I love you.
I have to say, this is a great way to open a service, to have the music fade in. We did this several times when I was music director. We would open a service with having the music fade in, and it just kind of drew people into worship and let them know, if you're in the foyer, come in and, sit down. If you're talking, go to your seat. Kind of got them ready to start service. And I think it's a great idea.
You're in my exceeding great reward, awesome and mighty, glorious. I lift you up, Lord. I magnify your name.
Okay, looks like he pointed to the musicians. I was wondering what the cue was going to be. And so they're going to start the intro.
I magnify you, Jesus. There's no one like you, Jesus.
I don't know if you guys heard that. It was a really soft click with the drums. So that was a way that we used to bring in the intro, was have the drummer click off with the drumsticks. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then this is a guitar intro. I think the guitar hopefully gets turned up in a second. So we'll see. Nice transition. So the intro is all the full band with electric guitar, and then you heard the musicians kind of bring it down for verse 1, which is a very good thing to do. You want your vocalist to be heard.
You be lifted. You draw home into you. You said if you be lifted, you draw home into you. So draw me.
This is a great song. If you guys have never done this in your church, it doesn't matter that it's old. I would still do it. It's a great opener song. It seems like trying to find upbeat songs can be difficult. So I think this song is by Jonathan Butler, if I'm not mistaken, and it's called Gonna Lift You Up.
Draw me closer. So draw me closer to you. I'm gonna lift you higher and higher. I'm gonna lift you up.
Did you hear that build? You can especially hear the drums on this recording. So you hear the hi-hat being opened. You hear him start to drive with this foot pedal.
Oh Lord, I'm gonna lift you up, and I'm never gonna stop. So with everything I've got, I'm gonna lift you up. Oh Lord, I'm gonna lift you up, and I'm never gonna stop. Oh, with everything I've got, I'm gonna lift you up.
Okay, the interlude is the intro again. It sounds really good. Because this is a whole camp meeting service, we have a couple songs to get through. I'm going to fast forward to the next song. And let's see, I have the timestamps written down so I'd know where to go. Here we go.
Lift you up, Lord. We lift you up in this place tonight.
Our Father. Great job. They did a great job executing the intro on this song. It's acoustic guitar. If you don't have an acoustic guitar player at your church, you could always use a different instrument. But I would encourage you to train one. Even if you're not the one teaching the lessons, encourage someone. Learn to play the acoustic guitar. Find a teacher for them. Find YouTube videos. Because songs like this are fun to do when you have the right musicians.
Father, who is in heaven, hallowed be your...
Now, it doesn't sound like they're playing with a drum loop, but they have some kind of percussion going on, and that's what you hear kind of in between the blank spots. The musicians are doing the punches together, which sounds really good. There's not a lot going on in between, which is what you want. You want the musicians to play together and not to overplay.
Our Father, who is in heaven, hallowed be your name. Our Father, who is in heaven, hallowed be your name. Our Father, who is...
Now, I can't believe this song is at least 12 years old. I still love it. We did it quite frequently. And I don't know if it was new in 2010 or if it was old in 2010. It could have been a couple years old. But I'm curious, have you guys done this song in your church? It goes over really well and it's a lot of fun. That's a good transition into that pre-chorus. You hear the drums change. You hear the music kind of smooth out. There's not a lot of rhythm. That's what the pre-chorus does. And then we're going into the chorus. You hear that drive? Like I said, you can especially hear the drums on this recording, so you hear that build going into the chorus. I'm going to see if I can find where they do the bridge.
Praise the Lord. Let everything that has breath, let everything that has breath, let everything that has breath.
Up. We're going to the chorus again. Hold on. Let's fast forward. If my internet will cooperate. There we go. Okay, they didn't go to the flip part after the bridge, which you don't have to. It's maybe higher than most people are used to. Let everything that has breath would be the soprano part. But I think they did a great job with the song. Okay, and it's a good upbeat song, and it's a catchy song to do in a service when you have multiple churches represented. Okay, let's go to the third song.
Glorious and mighty God. Found in your hands, fullness of joy.
I do like how they started the intro as he was still praying and exhorting. That creates a very smooth transition. If you're waiting until someone is done speaking to start the intro of a song or to figure out, what to do next, then that can be very awkward. You should always be thinking of what's going to happen next before it happens to make sure the transitions in your service are smooth, and that's what happened here. Also, the musicians are playing very softly in the beginning. I'm sure they're going to build throughout the song, but playing soft is not just turning your volume down on your keyboard. It's actually how hard you touch the keyboard. So that is a very good technique to learn when you're playing, is to learn to control the volume, not just by the volume knob, but how hard you actually play the piano.
Every fear suddenly wiped away. Here in your presence.
We hear strings. It's a piano and string sound. And that strings adds a little support to this part of the song. So if you have a keyboard that has strings or pad, on my Nord, I like to use a pad sound, but I like to split the keyboard where the pad is only in the lower half. And it keeps, if you'll listen to the piano, you hear like every note that they play has that string sound, which was very popular for 2010. But nowadays the keyboards can be split in a way where you can still play the piano but have that like the pad or the voice sound or string sound underneath, where it doesn't interfere with your chords.
Found in your hands. Found in your hands, fullness of joy.
All of a sudden, you can't hear the piano. Let's fast forward a little bit.
Found in your hands, fullness of joy. Every fear is wiped away. Here in your presence.
So I'm guessing we're in the second time of verse 1. The drums are in. You hear a full snare playing. So let's keep going. Okay, let's see if we can fast forward it a little bit.
Let's worship Him. We worship you, Lord. I magnify you.
Okay, this is probably the interlude going into the bridge.
I lift you up with all my heart, with all my mind, with all my strength. I lift you up in this place tonight. I love you and I worship you. I glorify you.
Now, I want to admit something to you. I used to not do interludes for songs. Like if there was a specific interlude in a song, I would not do it. And I found out, now this is just experience talking. I found out that interludes are a great time to remind people and encourage them to worship. Sometimes we can get so caught up in singing the song and let's go from verse 1 to the chorus and chorus to the bridge and let's kind of get the song done, that we don't take those spaces to exhort and draw people into worship. So that's how I think of interludes now. And what helps that is when you have a worship leader that will speak and exhort. So encouraging your worship leaders to do that in interludes really helps the song to flow, and it helps take the congregation to lead them along in worship.
I exalt you, mighty God, awesome, wonderful, glorious God. No one like you. Wonderful, beautiful, glorious, matchless in every way. Wonderful, beautiful.
Okay, so we came from a big interlude and then the music comes down. The parts, the singers are unison, and we're starting the bridge.
Glorious, matchless in every way, wonderful.
And you can hear the keyboard player is actually playing lower on the keyboard.
Beautiful, glorious, matchless in every way, wonderful, beautiful, glorious, matchless in every way.
Okay, you hear the music start to pick up. You hear the drums driving. I'm sure all the instruments are driving on this part, and it has made the song dynamic. Okay, let's keep going. We're gonna go. Let's go here.
With charity in your heart. By and by, when the morning comes, when all the saints of God gather home, we will tell the story of how we overcome, and we'll understand it better by and by.
It's always great to do a throwback song. You want to connect with different parts of the people that are in your audience or your congregation. And I like how he was kind of already given the key before he started singing. He didn't just start singing and then be able to know immediately what key he was in. So obviously he got the key before he started singing, and then he just starts singing by and by, and the musicians are following him. Okay, you can hear the piano really going to town. There's a lot of vamping going on. So once again, if you haven't learned the vamp, that's something that is going to be super beneficial. Okay, let's go to the next song. Okay, so we just have a piano intro. I love the variety. One of my biggest things, you hear me say it a lot, is you have to know when not to play. So drums don't always come in on the intro. Sometimes piano doesn't come in on the intro. We listened to Our Father earlier, and that was acoustic guitar. So know when you play and when you don't play.
My heart, my mind, my soul belongs to you.
I'm sitting here thinking, how in the world are these songs 12 years old? Like, is it really, was this really 2010? It makes me feel old. It's like, oh my goodness. I can't believe, because these songs still sound new to me.
My love, my life, it all belongs to you, belongs to you. Hey, hey.
I love the piano on this song. It sounds so good. Okay, let's go forward. Okay, we can see she's giving the verse 2 sign. The choir director is. So they're on verse 2. The band has come in. They're soft, but the whole band has come in. Nice, nice. Okay. So now we're on the bridge. This is either a transition going back into the bridge or the interlude. She's singing and exhorting, which is perfect. I will say that it does seem like that the song has sped up a little bit. This is a very, very common thing that happens. It's not always the drummer that speeds up a song. And I know when you're in a different setting, sometimes it's difficult if the sound isn't set up right, like for a camp meeting service, to use in-ears or to play with drum loops. It's probably more common now in 2022 than it was in 2010. But definitely playing with a drum loop it's so beneficial, because it's like it instantly adds another instrument to your band, and it makes it sound polished, but also it keeps the keyboard player or the singers or the bass player from pushing the drummer, or the drummer from speeding up. Okay, let's go to the next song. Let me know if you guys have done these songs, if you've ever heard them before. I have heard that one before, but I've never sung it. Oh, this is a fun song. I remember this one. I think it's still current.
God is an awesome God. God is an awesome God. He is an awesome God. God is an awesome God. God is an awesome God.
So if you've never heard this song before, musically it's the same thing throughout the entire song, the same chords over and over. It basically changes keys and then goes to a bridge, which is the same chords. So let's fast forward a little bit. Cool. I want to see how they end this one. Such a fun song. Such a fun song. Great lineup of songs for this service. And I feel like it was a good variety. I feel like the songs they chose were not super difficult for people to follow along with, which is what you want to keep in mind when you are doing a service where a bunch of different churches are represented, because every church may not know the songs. So that is something always to keep in mind. Thank you guys for joining today's video. If nobody's told you today, I believe in you. You have what it takes to be an incredible leader, an incredible musician. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to this channel, and you can follow Tune Bucket Piano Lessons on Instagram and Facebook. Bye, everybody.